In today's Retro Style Spotlight, we'll be taking a look at a retro-inspired game called Levantera, Square Enix reviving an old IP, the SNES, NES Classic, and Star Fox 2 updates, a VirtualBoy multiplayer update, Doom 2 shoved inside of Diablo 2, and the great efforts the Dolphin Developers went to getting Dragon Quest X up and running online in Emulator. All this today on Retro Style Spotlight, so let's get to it. Hit it! Thank you to all my patrons who are helping make this show a reality. If you'd like to help support me in the things that I do, then head on over to the Patreon link in the description below where you can pledge at any level, and any level of pledge helps me significantly. Being a solo creator on their own, every dollar matters. A special thank you to my patrons Alex Dubois, Draconis, Karen Storms, and Twistar. I couldn't thank you all enough. First up this week, I want to showcase an awesome looking game entitled Levantera, Tale of the Winds. And I'm probably mispronouncing that, but what can you do? This game's 8-bit style is very reminiscent of the NES and is a platforming RPG similar to games of that era. Developed by Lasso Games, this game looks fairly good and the gameplay seems to be there so far. The game is currently in alpha and available for free right now from Game Jolt. It may be released for a price later on and expanded to other platforms on PC, but for now it's here and looking pretty damn awesome. So if you're into being a pirate with action RPG elements styled after the NES, then you're right at home, matey. Square Enix has been on a kick about reviving older IP in the last several years, and now they have unveiled their new project. Fear Effect Reinvented will be a remake of the PS1 title of the same name, minus reinvented. The original Fear Effect focuses on a team of mercenaries, Hana, Glaz, and Deke. Their initial plan is to kidnap the daughter of a powerful Hong Kong triad boss, but what actually transpires drags them into a darkness beyond anything found on Earth. The game drew praise for its unique visual style, which featured anime-style character models on a fixed-angled FMV background, but drew criticism for its awkward control system. The game is said to be a complete remake, retaining the camera perspective, but creating a more modern control scheme. The game is slated currently for sometime in 2018 for the Xbox One, PS4, Switch, and PC. In a bit of a quick update news, the SNES Classic has gone up for pre-order and is already sold out. Thank you, good night, that's already the story, that's done. Yay. If you missed it, don't feel bad, so did I, but some more information has come out about this machine, like the exact length of cable, the OS, UI, and UX, and that Star Fox 2 may need to be unlocked. A new feature was also announced, and that is the rewind function. Save states and rewinding has been an emulator staple since the late 90s, and was present in the Saturday morning cartoon collection, so it's nice to see that this product added the less used and less known function of rewinding. I hope more pre-orders go up, or that it isn't an utter pain in the ass to find these in stores next month. But we all know that that's not true. Either way, good luck to you all, and I hope anyone who wants one can get one. A side note to the previous story, Star Fox 2 has been compared from the ROM link to its official build. We did originally thought years ago that the build that is available out there was complete, or close enough, but with confirmation from the original creator, we know this to not be true. So if you're curious about all of the changes from the leak to the official release, check out the video below. People do really odd and fun things with hardware, like putting Doom on a thermostat, but this time around it's taking the VirtualBoy and giving it a multiplayer component. This German coder, Martin, also going by the name of MK, cracked open Mario Tennis code, found references to what could be multiplayer information, and added in multiplayer support himself. All you need is 2 VirtualBoys, 2 copies of the game, a Cat5 cable, and this patch. Mario Tennis is comprised of about 30,000 lines of assembly code, but with the help of an emulator, he was able to narrow that down to about 3,000 lines of assembly code. Martin checked other VirtualBoy titles for this code and couldn't find any more references in them. Now, it's not to say multiplayer patches theoretically couldn't be made, but the effort needed would actually be a bit harder. So I wondered why in the hell someone would go to this length to get multiplayer working on a console that most people don't even want to play by themselves, let alone with other people. However, I then also thought to myself, why the hell not? At the end of the day, this was about Martin figuring out if the code was there, what could be possible, and if he could do it. The patch and the game have a few bugs left inside, but they're not a priority as the effort it would take to fix them up just doesn't compute for Martin with limited time resources. While not something that's practical at all, this is still very amazing. Thank you, Martin, for showing that this could be possible. Speaking of doing things for the hell of it, have you ever wondered what Doom and Diablo 2 would look like together? Well, now wonder no more. YouTuber Dolphin has now created Doomiablo. I also don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, Doiiom, but those could be the Roman numerals for the Diablo 2 name, so it could be Doium, Do2um. Either way, he came up with the name Doomiablo, so sketchy names all around. Doom RPGs have been made in the past, but all with custom engines. As far as I know, Doom hasn't been brought into another game's engine quite like this before, if at all. The Diablo 2 engine handles things fairly nicely in the tech demo, using Doom 2 assets everywhere. Granted, right now, this is just a tech demo, and it's not really something that you could play through right now. However, the concept is novel and amazing enough that with enough tweaks to the gameplay and engine, this could be something you could play and enjoy. Currently, a loot system is in place with the Doom guy comparing stats, and multiplayer may even be possible in the long run. It has come out over the past decade that Diablo 2 is very moddable, but I never thought that this is something that I would exactly see. Either way, I've played several thousand hours of Diablo across 3 games, so color me extremely interested. You certainly get my vote of confidence, so I hope you continue on with this, as I think you have something extremely special here. So my big story today, to me at least, is extremely fascinating and very technically complicated. I'll do my best to distill the information and leave a lot of the technical jargon out. However, before I get into it, the full article is below on the Dolphin Emulator website, full of every single tidbit and technical aspect that's needed to fully grasp what has been accomplished here. I personally don't think that you need to read it in order to understand and appreciate this next story. However, I do think that in order to fully do it justice, and if you do want to understand exactly how things were accomplished, what had to go into this feat of technology and feat of development and coding and emulator, like seriously, you should go give this a read. It's extremely interesting and awe-inspiring. Dragon Quest X is a Japanese exclusive MMO that was released several years back on the Wii. Later, ports of the game came to Wii U, and new ports are coming for the PS4 and Switch. While there is no word on if the game will be translated into English, this MMO has been successful for Square Enix, even being initially released on the Wii. Now, for those that don't know, getting Dragon Quest X to function properly on the Wii, a console that couldn't patch games after release, does house this MMO in all of its MMO glory. Square actually bundled a thumb drive in with this game, and a user must put it into their Wii so that the discs and servers could put data on it. Also note that I said discs, as it's the only Wii game to ship with 2 discs, and later shipped complete expansions and 2 new releases as well, all requiring the external storage of a thumb drive. It's also one of the only Wii games to support external keyboards. The PS3, 360, PS4, and Xbox One all can support these, and I believe even the PS2 supported keyboards. However, we know how backwards the Wii was, considering, again, it couldn't even patch games after they were released for a really long time. Square and Nintendo needed to come together and build entirely new systems for the Wii and retrofit anything else they could to make this game a reality. It's honestly quite a feat for a console that frankly was behind the times when compared to a 360 or PS3, both of which had MMOs on them. To come back to why this is even extra super amazing, the Dolphin team has actually emulated the entire game in full inside of the Dolphin emulator, complete with playing online and everything. While online play was technically possible previously, many developers and hours were spent getting this single game up and running, making sure features that were on the Wii that were only ever designed for this single game were emulated properly before the game's servers get shut down in November of 2017. This is a title that I've been wanting to play for years now, and I'm excited that it's being ported to the PS4 where I could pick up the game region-free. However, it's still in Japanese, so purchasing the title would mean I am clueless and would have to pay the monthly sub as well, on top of being clueless. So, paying $15 a month to not read Japanese in a game that's all about Japanese. Lovely. The last month of service for this game will be free on the Wii, and if you have the discs, you can get the game up and running in Dolphin right now, ready for the game's final month. Geo-blocking is still in place, however, so you'll need to spoof your IP from Japan, and that is going to be easier said than done for some of you. To note, geo-blocking has been removed on later iterations, which was a big deal, but the Dolphin devs confirmed that it still exists in the Wii iteration. The entire list of what they needed to do and the process they took to get to where they are now is actually staggering and an amazing read. I urge all of you to take a look at this and commend them for their hard work. I am comfortable in saying that the lengths that they took, the things that they did, may make this one of the more accurate emulators in terms of extra services and system functions. Granted, Dolphin isn't a cycle-accurate emulator, and there are a bunch of GameCube and Wii games that still have issues inside of Dolphin. However, I'm still comfortable in saying this. As consoles get more and more complicated, that title may also belong to someone else like RPSC3 in the future. But for now, holy crap! Good job, developers. I am astounded at what you did, and I am totally going to try to get this up and running for November. I just need to brush up on my Japanese. I also need to figure out how to get it up and running, and I also need to spoof my IP. I got a lot of work to do in 2 months, holy crap. So that was Retro Style Spotlight Episode 6. Most everything that you heard in this edition of RSS can be found in the description below. Thank you to all my patrons over at my Patreon campaign for making this a reality. I cannot thank every supporter enough. Thumbs up the video if you liked it, thumbs it down if you didn't, and leave me a comment in the comment section below on any stories that you heard in this edition of RSS. I'd also like to receive any feedback that you guys may have on the show and how I'm doing. Remember, freaks and geeks, to play more games, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.
Take a bite of that pineapple. Reflect